Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me as always. My name is Jim, and today we're going to talk about some cool flashlights, and more than one. And these were all sent in by the video's sponsor, bladeandbeam.com, and I'll talk a little bit more about them a little further into the video. Unzipping that pouch and revealing the beauty of what's inside. This is the NFR-Z, and I'm going to have two versions for you. Now, they're not going to be different finishes or colorways or the different materials. They're actually going to be identical, except for the fact that one is the triple emitter and one is the single emitter. And you might be wondering, why does it matter? Is it that big of a difference? Why do you need to review both of them? Well, because they actually are remarkably different. Now, anytime that you're choosing between any lights that have triple emitters or single emitters, you're choosing between flood and throw. Now, that's not to say that the throwier one isn't still going to have some flood, but it definitely means on a triple emitter that you're not going to get any throw at all, or hardly any. So the best all-around multi-purpose, most of the time, is going to be a single emitter, if otherwise the lights are equal. If they have the same amount of lumens, if they're using the same driver, if they have the same batteries, then all those things being equal, the single emitter may generally be your better choice. Now, as we look at the reflector that's being used in this one, you'll notice that it is a nice deep dish reflector. So, yep, definitely it's going to throw, but it's not just a smooth, polished reflector. It's more like a disco ball inside. So what that tells me is, well, I'm probably going to get a fair amount of distance. I'm not expecting this to be a super thrower by any stretch of the imagination. I honestly think I'm going to get a lot more flood out of this than I typically would. If this was a completely smooth reflector, it would be a very focused hotspot that throws out pretty far. Instead, you're going to get a hotspot. I don't think it's going to be hyper focused, where it's this, this ball of fire in the center, and then it dramatically goes off to a little bit of flood with a very dramatic cutoff. I think this is going to be a little bit softer, and it's going to be floodier than most single emitters that are built in a similar manner. So I want to kind of show these side by side. These are both milled from solid rounds or rods of titanium. I'm going to go with the specs that are listed on the Blade and Beam website. I'm actually going to move this right up here because I'm afraid I'm going to keep bumping it and it's going to be in my way. Because unfortunately, the maker of these lights doesn't really prioritize his website. So there's absolutely no information about this light from him. Normally, that would worry me a little bit. But from handling this light for about a week so far, I can say that the quality isn't a mystery. They feel fantastic. I myself feel the absolute urge to buy one of these for sure. But I actually want the zirconium. Why? Because polished zirconium is flat out sexy. Also, I have a few beautiful high-end custom lights in titanium that, and even one that I collaborate on, that I designed, that you guys know that Jordy made, my Cylon. So I think that the zirconium is dressier and fancier. It's obviously more exotic, and it's a completely different look than the ones I currently have. So I'm kind of leaning in that direction. After playing with these now for about a week, I absolutely want to have one of these. But I'm going to warn you, while these aren't as expensive as many of the high-end custom titanium pocket lights are, they're not cheap either. And the zirconium, way more expensive. Now, going off the specs that we have from bladeandbeam.com, you're looking at, on the triple emitter, 1650 lumens. On both of these, they will have titanium clips matching the titanium bodies and heads. And it says it's got a custom rear clicky and hyperglow gasket. So what happens is, if you get red secondaries, you're going to get the red glow gasket and you're going to get the red tail clicky. So they kind of match everything up. I kind of dig that. So the front and the rear will match. These both will have sapphire lenses. And according to Blade and Beam, each of these emitters are going to be in the Samsung. They don't specify exactly which Samsung bulbs they are. And they are running at 5,000 Kelvin. So you're getting a fairly neutral light. You're still going to get, it's a warmer light than I was expecting. I was thinking these were going to be like 6,000, 6,500 K, and they were going to be ultra bright white to the point of heading into blue. But no, it's a pretty gentle color temperature. I generally prefer warmer. I would actually want 4,500, maybe even as low as 4,000 K. That's just me though, because I really like the high CRI. I like having the better depth of field. The warmer you get, the better depth of field that you've got. When you get brighter white, everything looks a little bit more flat to your eyes. So it's not a huge deal, but it is something to consider when you're spending this kind of money, because these are $565 on the base price in titanium. So yeah, not cheap, but after seeing these and seeing the beauty in the machining and the finishing, does it help you justify the price or not? I like the milled titanium clips as well. Really well done. There's your optics. Now let's feel the threading. That's actually surprisingly smooth. That feels pretty darn good. Oh, and it is running a Dragon driver. That is not... Oh, it is listed. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was listed on the website. I made some bullet point notes for myself. I don't generally do that, but with something that I have not handled at all before, I thought that might be a good idea. I like this. I think, however, I'm probably going to like the single emitter more when we start taking a look at beam shots and stuff. Let's get this open. See how that... it's not as... No, wait. This is a little bit smoother than this one. The trick to titanium is the fact that when you thread titanium pieces together, you can feel the roughness in the material as compared to, let's say, a polished stainless steel, for example, or a hard anodized aluminum. It's just a little bit of a different feeling. And while nobody really hits the level of slickness and smoothness that Hanko does, this one feels fairly close. It feels more close than most other lights do. Now you've got a straight tube body, and it goes out to a small flare outward on the head. So it's just a little bit larger in diameter than the body. And these will both run off of a single 18350 flat top battery. All right, so we've seen them close up. We've seen the details of the machining, how clean the finishing is, and how beautifully they're made. I think it's time to get a look at the beam shots. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on these, so I want to kind of get to the beam shots. We'll do some studio beam shots first, inside of here, and then after that, we're going to go outside. But first, let me talk to you just for a couple seconds about bladeandbeam.com, who have sent these in and are sponsoring this video. Whether you're in the market for lights or blades, if you're shopping at bladeandbeam.com, you're supporting small family business right here in America. And they carry gear from some of the most amazing brands and makers in both flashlights and in knives, and lots of other random EDC goodies as well. Now, if you're looking for a discount, well, you're going to get a little bit of a discount here from watching one of my videos, thanks to the sponsorship that Blade and Beam has given me. You've got a coupon code, just punch that in, and you've got your discount. So thank you, bladeandbeam.com. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, at 1650 lumens, I think these will be bright enough that we can get an idea for the beam pattern with the lights still on. So the low secondaries in the red, you're not really going to see. There is the high secondaries. There's your low white light, and there's your high white light on the triple. Now we'll take a look at the beam pattern. I'm going to lay this down here and let you see kind of what the spread is. We're going to kill the light. And now you get a chance to see just how floody that is. So of course there is a little bit of intensity in the center of the beam, but it's not a clearly defined hotspot. It's a very smooth, diffused kind of light. And that really is a hallmark of triple emitter lights. Now, what I want to do is take a look at that beautiful single emitter. Okay, here we go. Here is our single, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. Oh, that is a beautiful beam. Let me lay this down so you can kind of see that. Beautiful beam pattern. You do have a discernible hotspot. Then you've got, and it doesn't just go from hotspot to spill. You've got the hotspot, and then you have this warm corona and a gentle spill right out here. And there is a defined cutoff, but it's not a flat out straight drop cutoff. It goes rather softly. I dig that a lot. So now let's take these outside and see how that translates to actually working in the dark. I think this is going to be my favorite. Yep, I'm pretty sure of it. We're going to start with the triple and see how that looks and make the comparisons. Starting off with our secondaries, that is the highest of the red, and obviously it's not going to throw at all. There is our low primary, and there is our high primary. Now, I'm just going to take a quick walk with it. You can see what it's like. Okay, so obviously I left that on high because it really wouldn't have made much sense to use the lower setting. Now, we're going to try the single emitter and see what the differences are. We should see a lot more throw out of the single emitter. Okay, so here's our low. There's our high. I'm sorry, that was medium. This is high. Thinking I've got the trip in my hand again, and it's only got 2 modes for the white light. So, keeping that on high, look at the spill. So, your hotspot is very vague. Obviously, you do have a hotspot, but it goes so softly into the spill. It's beautiful. Reminds me a lot of the Machismo Haiku, as beautiful as that beam is. Now let's take a walk with that. I'll be right back. Oh yeah, that is absolutely the way to go. So if you're wondering, should you do the trip or the single emitter? Now you know how they're each individually going to perform. Obviously, the triple gives you really nice flood and a nice spread out amount of light around you. But honestly, the single emitter version isn't bad on that part at all, and you've got a little bit of throw. So let's take a walk together and let's compare the two and see how you feel about it. Okay, we'll start again with the trip. And we're going to throw it on high. Still effective to the top of this tree. That's good. That's about 35 or so feet tall. And these are just under 50 feet tall. So again, very nice, clean flood. Almost no throw to mention. So again, this is another one of those lights that's, it's good for walking the dog and stuff like that. Maybe walking around your yard. You heard a bump in the night. You want to go see if something's going on out in the yard. Sure, that's great. But if you want any kind of distance at all, honestly, you're going to want to go with the single emitter. And I can't wait to pull it out of my pocket right now and use it because, man, I really, really like how beautiful that beam is. Let's check it out. Okay, now let's give you the same shot up into the same trees. Significantly brighter, at least to my eye. How does it look to you guys on video? Seems significantly brighter. Oh, man. Just fantastic. So, I don't really have an issue with the flood on this. I think it's given me everything that I want to see that's all around me. And then I can see a fair distance, which, to be honest with you, I'm surprised at how good the throw is. Now, it's not a thrower. Don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm getting so much more distance out of the single emitter than I did out of the triple. I like this a lot. You know, it's funny, as I first started playing with these, I thought to myself, the construction's so nice, the finishing is so nice. I absolutely want one of these, but I really, really want the zirconium. But now, now that I've put these side by side, I know that I want the single emitter, and I kind of really, really, really want it. And I feel a little bit naughty. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. I really enjoyed this. And again, thank you to the Georges over at bladeandbeam.com, because without them, this would not have been possible. I'm so glad I got a chance to play with these. Very cool. Go check those guys out. If you want to get one of these for yourself, hit them up, and they'll take good care of you. And with that, I'm out of here, and I'll see you on the next video.